Well, that was weird. I just said my 40s and it says I'm gonna die, so um okay, that's pretty scary, that is. So anyway, to my review. Probably just a prank call. Well, it came from my number, so that's a bit weird. I mean, how's that possible? Who knows? So anyway, to my review of One Missed Call. This film is a 2003. Did like a 2008 remake. Wasn't as good as the. This one was scary. This film was scarier. I was watching. I was looking on the thing, man. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a really low rating. It got lower rated than Ghostbusters 26. Nuts. Kind of shows the taste, movie certain taste. Wow, what a scary movie. I'm sorry, but it got a low rating than Ghostbusters 2016. Nuts. So anyway, it's 2003 film. It's a Japanese horror film directed by Takashi Mike, whatever. And the film made the film was at 1.7 million dollars. That's quite cheap for a film, and it made 16.2 million at the. Oh my, that's pretty impressive at the box office. That's quite impressive. That's what I mean. If you make a low budget film and it makes, I know that Blair Witch Project made a lot of money. It's a very low budget film, and it made a lot of money. I actually appreciate that film more now. I watched it the first time, didn't like it, but I watched it again, I thought I appreciate it more, I understood it. So anyway, the plot of this film, it's quite a lot to read here. I'll read it. I'll try reading all of it. While out at a pub with friends, Yoko Okozaki misses a call on her cell phone, but the caller ID says it's herself. She and her friend Yumi Yakumura listen to Yoko's voice message dated 2 days into the future, where she says it's starting to rain, followed by a horrendous scream. 2 days later, Yumi receives a phone call from Yoko and realizes that Yoko is on the same routine as voicemail. Yoko screams as she violently throws off on a overpass into a speeding train. A severed hand is seen down in a number, although authorities assume suicide. Her schoolmates recall similar deaths that were preceded by voicemails. Yoko's boyfriend, Kenji Kawai, tells Yumi he got a voicemail from himself dated 2 days after Kenji dies, and a red jawbreaker candy falls out of his mouth as his phone call dials another number by himself. Yumi meets Haruki. Yumi meets Harushi Yamashi, a detective who has been investigating the case that has claimed his sister Ritsuko. I can't remember. I don't know, some names are not too bad. Yamashita shares that the next victim is called 1 minute after the previous death, and the victims have red jawbreakers in their mouths. Their investigation leads them into a hospital which has been since changed its building and number. Yumi recognizes a sound and heard it before Kenji's death, a spritz from an asthma inhaler. They trace the autopsy records to a girl named Mimiko as Mizumura, Mizumura, who has died from asthma attack with her mother. Mary going died from asthma attack with her mother. Mary going missing. Ritsuko's journal shows that whenever Mimiko had a attack, her sister Nanako would suffer some injury at the same time. They suspect Munchausen syndrome by proxy, where parent purposely makes a child sick so she can take care of her to be praised for. Yumi's friend Natsuma also becomes a victim and dies. Yumi gets the cursed voicemail and reveals to Yamashita that her mother abused her as a child. At an orphanage, Yamashita meets Nanako, who's is unable to talk but has a teddy bear that plays the same song as the ringtone. At the abandoned hospital, Yumi is haunted by the spirit of Mamiko. Her soul messages her that she will die in 1 minute. Yamashita finds an arm clutching the active cell phone and stops its call. After the minutes elapse, Yashimita Shapata uncovers a crate holding Miri's body. It comes to life and Yumi sees her abusive mother in Mira. She tearfully embraces her, apologizes for leaving her, and Miri's body returns to her corpse. Yumi goes home and Yamashita visits Nanako at the orphanage. The Minasuma visited that Yamashita fan reveals that Miri did not abuse her children. Instead, Mimiko abused her sister. The tape shows her cutting Nanako, then suffered an asthma attack. Miri found out the truth and rushed Nanako to the hospital, leaving Mimiko to die. Nanako tells Yamashita that she would get a candy from Mimiko if she stayed silent. Yumi is haunted by Mimiko in her home, playing out the same events a voicemail showed. When Yamashita arrives, he finds Yumi normal but is stabbed by her when they embrace, but sees Yumi appearing as Mimiko in the mirror. After a dream, she helps the dying Mimiko with an inhaler. He wakes up in the hospital where a possessed Yumi feeds him candy with her mouth and smiles, revealing that Mimiko has found a new Nanko in Yamashita to care for. So there's a lot to read there. So yeah, it's a good film. I enjoyed it. The last part was a bit confusing because I kind of went, hey. The last part was quite... The only part that kind of bugged me a little bit was the last part, but the rest of the film was creepy as heck. Did really well out of the box office, but really good film. Yeah, because they did a film in 2008, a remake. It has the same kind of like story, same moments were the same. The train scene and the last part at the house and stuff, and with the creepy ass door knocking and stuff. The film is creepy as heck. It really was creepy. 2003 film. Made a lot of money. I think the creepiest part was when she's at the hospital on her own. That scene was scary. That scene was, even I was getting Jesus, especially that thing hanging from above, like it's like ghost and she's kind of like upside down. It's pretty creepy. That scene was. That's probably the most. I don't know. There's a lot of creepy parts in this film. There's a lot of similar moments from the remake. The remake actually wasn't that bad. I like the fact that it deals with a supernatural force that can kill people through technology, which I always find that fascinating. And they've done a lot of films like that. A bit like The Ring, because that goes through technology for the TV, it kills you through the TV. Similar kind of situation. But it's for a phone call, so when this thing rings you, it's got your number, and you can actually hear yourself talking. That's the old story. And there's no way to stop it, and of course, the last part explains it more. How they stopped it and stuff, and the film is really creepy, really well done. It's not a high budget movie, that's the thing. I think the remake was like more high budget. But to be honest, right, when you watch this film, you don't need to make a high budget movie because it's just a simplistic phone thing, and the thing kills you. You don't need to make a high budget, movie. Sometimes they don't work. But the film works big time. Like I said, it made a lot of money at the box office. 1.7 million budget, and then it made over 60 million, so that's not bad. They got the money back there straight away. And then they made a sequel. Of course, I've not seen that one yet. I'll do a review of that. So I'm going to review all 3 films. But that first one was pretty scary. I was sitting there going, Jesus Christ. I started to get goosebumps, and that's always a good sign when I watch a horror film, because I'm like, but I really enjoyed this movie. It's definitely worth a watch if you want a scary Japanese horror film. Because the Grudge films are films that I did enjoy those. So yeah. So the rating I'm going to give this film, like I said, it's a good movie. It made me jump a few times. Not like jump, but I got like, you know when you get goosebumps and, oh man, this film. I was getting them. Sweet Jesus. I'll give this film a 4.5 out of 5 because I really definitely, now I'm like seeing things like because of that bloody film. I'm looking at it, I keep seeing a head or something, like a face in my freaking screen. It's a creeper. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5. You know, films that do that are doing it right. You know, sometimes when I watch a horror film, it's not scary, but then when you watch a horror film, it gives you goosebumps. It makes you a little bit scared to go downstairs because it's too dark. That's why, you know, it does work. So yeah, so 4.5 out of 5 for One Missed Call, 2003 original movie from Japan, and yeah, 4.5 out of 5 for that movie. So the next review. This is the second one, 2005 film, set plays. First one was 2003, this is 2005. So anyway, this is the second film to the One Missed Call films, and what a film it was. Creepy as hell like the first one. So let's just get this party started. So I read the thing, how much it made. Directed by Renpai Tsukamoto. In 2005, running time 105 minutes. Plot is, it's a Japanese movie of course. Kindergarten teacher Kayoko Akira's friend Madoka Ochiyama invites her to a dinner at a Chinese restaurant where Kayoko's boyfriend, I think that was Chinese actually, anyway, where Kayoko's boyfriend Naoto Sakurai works part-time at. The chef Mr. Wang receives a phone call from his daughter Mi Fing's phone, redirecting the curse to inflict on him. I couldn't understand it at first when I was watching. I thought to myself, how come he's just died when it was his daughter? And it started to make more sense later because it passes it on to that person. It's like a virus. Mi Fing later arrives with a new phone and exchanges her new number with Kayoko and Madoka. The latter receiving the curse called right afterwards. Naoto heads to the kitchen and discovers Mr. Wang dead with half his face burnt off. Journalist Takako Nozo heads to the crime scene, learning from Detective Matoki Miya about the traces of coal found in Mr. Wang's body, as well as the fact that Yumi Yakumura is still declared missing ever since she killed Yamashi a year before. Yamashita. She personally questions Naoto the next day and tells him about the cursed call, the victims it claimed over the previous year, and its origin. Miko Mima, Kayoko's video chat with Madoka is interrupted when the former sees a black-haired figure about to reach her through the phone. She heads to Madoka's residence, but it's too late to stop her from being mutilated in the shower. Shortly after Naoko and Takako arrive, Kayoko receives the call. I'm glad I don't live in another. It's still driving me nuts. To help solve the case, Madoka Mika, Matamiya, I wanted to say Richard, Chris, but you know, it's easier. Orders autopsy on its curse call victims, including Mimiko, all of whom show positive of having traces of coal dust. In the meantime, Kayoko, Naoto, and Takako visits Mimiko's grandmother, who speak of Mimiko being the daughter of a lunatic who was killed by Taiwanese husband while serving his term. He felt chased by a little girl who decided to move to his hometown, Taipei. After his release, Takako contracts an estranged husband, Yunin Cheng, who lives in Taipei, and learn that similar deaths related to curse calls also happen all over Taiwan. So Takako flies to Taipei to personally visit Mimiko's grandfather, only to find his rotten corpse while calling herself. Ayoko and Naoto decide to follow and help Takako. I just say Tako to resolve the curse and help. And she learns them that she found that the curse originally started from an abandoned coal mine, and the only survivor of the town learns that a girl called that's the easy name, Lily, had the power to verbally curse someone into imminent death. The extreme town resident sewed her mouth shut and sealed her into the mines. Takako then receives a call from Yutu, who has received the curse call. Headed to the town, the trio split up. Tako receives a call from Moto, who tells her that Yumi's body has been found and she was actually evil all along. Rather than possessed by Mimiko. Before the call abruptly cuts off, she heads into an open mind, encounters Mimiko and passes out after having a dream where she stops her twin sister who died after receiving the curse call and from answering the ringing payphone. She wakes up and races to Yuting's apartment. She arrives right when his time makes exhausted. Yet since nothing happens, she concludes that her sister has saved them. Meanwhile, Nayako managed to free Kayoko from Lee's trap, but when she realized that Lee would never release Kayoko, he sacrificed himself by answering the phone call taking her place. Tako informed that Moto had died the day before while going to see Yuma's body, raising her suspicions. At the same time, Kyoto becomes confused when the police reveal that two bodies were found in the mines. Takako heads to Yukin's apartment and finds him dead in the bathroom, which learns that her own doom from a video recording. Checking her cell phone, she finds that she also receives a curse call dated 5:58 p.m. but yet the current time is 8:05 p.m. She realized that she had died in the mines under the hands of Mimiko, who used her image to kill Yutin. Splitting a red hard candy, she smiles and drops it as the death ring is heard. Ring tone is heard. It's a confusing part of the film because I was thinking to myself, hang on, she went back to the apartment and it was fine. That part confused hell out of me. Really strange. The film was good, there had a nice little twist in it, but it was really strange. The last bit was. It did make me think a bit because I was thinking to myself, hang on a minute, he was fine when they went back to the apartment. The film had some creepy ass moments in it. So yeah, country Japanese. Yeah, it's a Japanese film, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, Jesus Christ. Don't say how much it's a film. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie though. I really enjoyed it. It had some creepy ass moments. It had a twist out there I wasn't really expecting. I was like, oh, that was a bit of an interesting twist. Some good performance, some good characters. So yeah, I was sitting there going, this film is creeper. Is it as good as the first one? No, but I still enjoyed it. I genuinely did. I'm looking forward to watching the third one. I didn't even know they made a TV show, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'd love to watch that, the TV show of it. But really, it's definitely a creepy ass movie. So yeah. Really enjoyed it. That's some interesting twist. I mean, I was a bit confused. I thought it was meant to be the character before, and it wasn't. It. I don't know. It's weird the way they did it. It's like, and this time, and the interesting part is that whoever picks up the phone and it passes on the curse, and then he dies. Even I didn't get that bit at first. I was like, that's a bit confusing. And why did he die when it was O's on the crazy? So instead of like Ken, they'd have like Cole in the stomach, like whatever. Which is interesting. And you find out later where it's come from. So yeah, yes, it's about this young girl that's the mask been like sewed, and her curse like gets released, killing people, and she's like takes revenge on anyone. So okay, she's evil. But yeah, the more the merrier. It's a very fun film. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, really enjoyed this film. So the rating I'm going to give this film is a 4 out of 5 because I really enjoyed it. I'm predictable. See, I'm just being very predictable. 4 out of 5 for One Missed Call 2. So yeah. So 4 out of 5 for One Missed Call 2. Really enjoyed it. Right, next review. Right, my final review is One Missed Call Final. The final movie in the One Missed Call films. This one is a 2006 horror film. It's the final installment. It's a really enjoyable movie. This one was. I sat there watching it. It's fun. It's a fun movie to watch. It's not as scary as the first one, but it's got some creepy ass moments in it. It does have some creepy moments in it. So anyway, high school student. Okay, right. Directed by Manabu Aso. I'm not sure how much it made it. I just didn't say. Okay, high school student Pam hangs herself at school due to severe bullying from classmates, but she is saved and committed to a hospital in a state of coma. Her friend Azuka Mazuda, who is also bullied, plans to take revenge against this classmates, all of whom have gone to Busan, South Korea on a field trip. I've got a film called Busan actually. What was it called? Busan to Train to Busan, something like that. On a field trip. Using a computer, she clicks on class photos to place the cell phone curse. Her first victim, Azusa Kanusoki. Azuka receives a message accompanied by a photo showing her hanged. At Busan, Azuka is separated from her classmates in a busy marketplace and is killed when a noose drags and hangs her, with her spitting out a red candy afterwards, a bit like the first one. Teruya Makami receives the message next, but now accompanied by the text "Death is set for" and sent by forwarding the message. He shrugs off and goes to the restroom, but is killed when a loose telephone wire electrocutes him to death. More students start to receive the message, and they race forward to their friends, saving them at the cost of their friends' lives. Azuka's close friend, Imari Kazuma, whose boyfriend, Jinwo, is deaf, calls Azuka to stop her, but to no avail. They learn that the curse came from Mamiko Mizumona, a girl who died from asthma. Imari reveals to Jinwoo that Pam's nickname for Azuka is a nickname for Azuka to donate her status in her classroom, to denote her status to their class. Diminutive of spam, exposing the current Azuka as an imposter. She also reveals that Azuka became the target of bullying due to standing up to Imari, who was originally the bullied first. With Jinwoo advice, Imari apologized to Azuka, awakening the real Azuka. Realizing the curse source is Azuka's computer, Imari and Jinwoo race to send emails to overload the computer's inbox with help from their friends, and spread the news through South Korea and Japan while sending mails. Imari's computers connects with Azuka's, and the same when Azuka comes back. The two have a conversation, but when Imari receives the curse message, both are transported to a different place in the school. Finding Azuko about to commit suicide with Mimiko, Imari recalls their promise to visit a shore and offers herself to replace Azuka. Before Mimiko can do so, Azuka computer is overloaded and the two are sent back to their previous places while parting ways with Imarai. Jinwoo snatches her phone, which still has the codes, and forwards the message to himself. Afterwards, he is violently killed as Imari watches in shock. Sometime after, Azuka and Imari latter having lost ability to speak and walk due to all the events that occurred, visit the shore as promised. Yeah, I really enjoyed this film. It's what I liked about this, right? I like the fact that this curse goes to different people, and each person is trying to send the curse to someone else, like passing on the hot potato, I suppose you can call it. But I really enjoyed this movie. It's not as good as the first one. It's not as good as the second one, but it's a fun movie. Sometimes third films are not as good as the other ones, but this film was fun. It just deal with, you see a lot of CGI, a bit more CGI in this than the other films. I was a bit confused at the beginning. See, like, you know, this schoolgirl, and she's kind of like with these chickens and stuff, and then you see this flashback of this like girl getting bullied. That scene kind of confused me a bit because I was like, then it starts to make sense, like, around about bullying and stuff. So this girl, you think it's the girl who's getting bullied, but there's a bit of a twist. I just told you anyway. So, and she does this thing where she sends the curse out to other people, so you see how they react. So people start to like forward the messages to someone else, and then they're like saying, "Don't send it to me. Don't send." You know, it's like they all go a bit nuts and crazy. So really enjoyable fun, because you think to yourself, what would you do if you was in that situation where you get a phone call and you're gonna die? You either die or you send it to someone else. And it's very enjoyable. The film's good. I really enjoyed these films. Yeah. So yeah. So that's what I was sitting there going, yeah, I like the fact that they was kind of like, don't send that message to me, you know, I'm going to send that message, you know, if they get a phone call, so they can save their own skin by sending it to someone else. And it kind of shows you their character, because there's like a teacher in this film that wants to take the phones, and he does it for his own gain, you know. It's kind of like, you know, this curse is real, but I don't want to freaking die. The part in the elevator, that's pretty cool, that scene was, because it shows his character, selfishness at the same time. But the main character, the girl in it, she's kind of less selfish, she's selfless, she's got character, she tries to set, you know, she regrets not helping a friend. But yeah, the film was really good, I really enjoyed it, and the ending part's pretty screwed up too. I was like, okay, screwed up. But I'll tell you one thing, I'd love to see a video game with these. Yeah, I'd love to see a video game. Suppose I made a video game on it, it'd be awesome. Yeah, I was sitting there going, the film was good. I like the fact that the characters were kind of like, you know, there's one guy's phone. There was like making sure they don't get a phone. The other person doesn't pass on the forward thing, the message. Really enjoyed it though. Really enjoyed it. So the film does have a lot of effects in it. It's not as scary as the first one, but I did enjoy it. All the characters were good. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film. So I like the performances, I like the... I can't really think... I think the only thing I didn't like about it... it wasn't as scary as the first one, or the second one, but I still enjoyed it, so yeah. But it kind of goes that, you know, pretty well, I said the film, so yeah. So the way I'm going to give this film is a 4 out of 5. I'm going to be predictable, 4 out of 5 for one missed call, 3, the final mover, and yeah. I hope I'm not going to die right now, because... whatever, so I'm going to go anyway, so 4 or 5 for one missed call 3, the final mover. I'm going to go off now. People remember to subscribe to the channel, and that's the have a nice week. Take care, look at yourself, and go away. Have a nice day, have a nice week, take care, look at yourself, and see you later. Bye.